Hey, y'all. Gary here with Tennessee Stands. Hey, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of comment today, but I really want to make sure you see this video. Yesterday, which would have been Tuesday, April 5th, Senator Janice Bowling, one of our favorites, always fighting for liberty for the individuals here in Tennessee, she sponsored a constitutional amendment that we ran her way, and was gracious enough to run that in the General Assembly. It was a constitutional amendment, very simple. SJR, Senate Joint Resolution 993, would have secured medical freedom here in the state of Tennessee, would have preserved constitutionally, it would have amended Article 1, the Bill of Rights of our Constitution, to preserve and secure your right over your own body to make your own medical decisions as an individual without fear of reprisal. I want you to watch this video. Please watch it in its entirety. This clip I'm about to show you is Senator Janice Bowling presenting this bill on the floor, and just listen to every word that she says, fighting for you in the General Assembly.
Senator Bowling, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This does correct a problem that we found out was existing in the common misunderstanding of common law. And so I'll explain what this amendment would do, or what this Senate Joint Resolution would do, and also why it's so important to involve the people of Tennessee in the decision as to whether or not we need this added to our Constitution. This would amend the article of the Bill of Rights and add a new section: the right of a person to refuse any medical procedure, treatment, injection, vaccine, or prophylactic shall not be questioned or interfered with in any manner. Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged to any person in this state because of the exercise of the right under this section. So the constitutional background on this: no power to regulate health and medical practices was delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states. Such power was reserved to the states respectively or to the people by the 10th Amendment. Further, the 9th Amendment's guarantee places the enumerated rights, as well as the others retained by the people, outside the powers of the federal government, and a source of those other rights is the common law. Rights at common law were private rights, and as such, it was not only the duty of civil government not to violate them, but affirmatively to secure them from violation by other persons. Pursuant to the 10th Amendment of the General Assembly, as representatives of the people, we have the power to secure to the people those rights they possessed prior to ratification of the United States Constitution, common law rights, secured by the 9th Amendment. So is medical freedom a common law right, and should it be secured by the states and or by its Constitution? According to Blackstone's commentaries at common law, the absolute rights of persons consisted of the three great and primary rights of personal security, personal liberty, and private property. The right of personal security consists of a person's legal and uninterrupted enjoyment of his life, his limbs, his body, his health, and his reputation. Blackstone said, "The least touching of another person willfully or in anger is a battery, for the law cannot draw the line between different degrees of violence, and therefore totally prohibits the first and lowest stage of it, every man's person being sacred, and no one having a right to meddle with it, even in the slightest manner." Some of these ideas were affirmed in the third extraordinary session of 2021, and among those are the right at common law to personal security and liberty to be free from an unwanted touching of one's limbs and body was retained by the people of the state, and that the right includes rights and duties with respect to medical treatment administered by other persons, such as it was with the COVID-19 vaccinations. Informed consent between patients and healthcare practitioners protects the rights at common law of persons, and all such consent must be voluntary, not given under duress, coercion, misrepresentation, or fraud, and consistent with our constitutionally recognized and inalienable right of liberty. Every person within the state is and must remain free to choose or to decline to be vaccinated against COVID without penalty or threat of penalty. So why a constitutional amendment? These last 2 years have taught us that these sacred common law rights to the security of our own persons are at risk and have been threatened not only in Tennessee, but even by the egregious overreach of the federal government. It's time for Tennessee to take a critical step forward in showing its commitment to protecting God-given liberties of its citizens. While it's incumbent on the General Assembly to review the proposed amendments to our Constitution, please let us not forget that the real duty and power to amend this sacred document belongs to the people, not to legislators. It is undeniable that Tennesseans are concerned about the right to direct their own medical care without the threat of intrusion or coercion by governments or by others. While Tennessee has taken steps to partially secure some of these rights when it comes to COVID-19, constitutional rights are not dependent on a type of disease or the perceived severity of a communicable disease or a medical condition. Constitutional rights are absolute. We either have them or we do not, and they should exist in all cases and not subject to circumstance. So in order to codify these existing common law rights, Tennesseans reserve the right to amend or alter their Constitution and direct their government as to the rights they wish to be secured by this state. And I would ask for a favorable recommendation to get this on the ballot in, actually it would be 2026, because this would have to pass through this General Assembly, then the next with the 2/3, and then it would go on the next ballot for a gubernatorial race, which would push it down the road to 2026.
Thank you, Senator Bowling. To put it in the proper form, the resolution comes to us from Judiciary with a negative recommendation. Discussion. I'll make a motion. Do we have a second? Discussion. Mr. Secretary, if you would call the roll on the bill, please, sir.
Senator Haile? No. Votes no. Senator Hensley? Votes aye. Senator Jackson? No. Votes no. Senator Massey? No. Votes no. Senator Reeves? No. Votes no. Senator Swan? Senator Watson? No. Votes no. Senator Yarbro? No. Votes no. Chairman Crow?
Aye.
Votes aye. Mr. Chairman, you have 2 ayes, 6 noes.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Bowling.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I appreciate you allowing me to present this bill.
You're welcome.
So, first off, really appreciate Senator Bowling and her comments and her strong stance on our Constitution, understanding where our rights come from, standing firm on the 9th Amendment and our common law secured rights to our own persons, without fear from others or from our government. But look, you need to understand something. I want you to understand something. Your Tennessee state government, the overwhelming majority of which are Republicans, do not believe that you have a God-given, indefeasible, unalienable right to make your own medical decisions. They do not believe it. They do believe that in some cases, to some degree, that governments have a right to mandate health care over your body. They do believe that governments and other individuals have a right to make mandates over you and your family regarding vaccines and other healthcare requirements, even at the risk of losing your job or educational opportunities or whatever it might be. Boy, that was hard to say. They are proving to you by virtue of this vote that this is what they believe. And these are Republicans. So let's go to the votes. I want to understand you know their names. So first of all, this Senate Joint Resolution was referred by the Senate Judiciary Committee with a negative recommendation, and the negative recommendation was upvoted by Senators Mike Bell, Todd Gardenhire, Sara Kyle, Lamar, John Lundberg, Paul Rose, and John Stevens. Worth noting that Kyle and Lamar are Democrats. The rest are Republicans. They gave a negative recommendation. This bill then ended up where you saw it in the Health Committee in the Senate. And voting no were Senators Ferrel Haile, Ed Jackson, Becky Massey, Shane Reeves, Bo Watson, and Jeff Yarbro. Yarbro is a Democrat. Again, the rest are Republicans. By a firm Republican supermajority that we have here in Tennessee, and some like to believe we enjoy. We do not enjoy, by the way, because most of them are not conservatives. They did not even allow discussion to be had on this bill. No one cared. No one wanted to talk about it. No one wanted to ask Senator Bowling a question. They simply wanted to take the vote and vote no. That's what happened. So we're going to continue, again, like I said before, when we talked about the medical discrimination bill, we're going to continue to push this issue. And look, 2022 is important. 2022 elections are so important. We have to change the people in these seats. The people that are currently in these seats are not conservatives. They do not care about conservative values. They are unconcerned, wholly unconcerned with securing your individual liberties per the Constitution. We have to get them out. We need better people in there that understands why it's important to secure the rights of the people of the state. It's that simple. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all you do across the state of Tennessee. And